My name is Ibrahim Kamara. I just graduated from Lyndon McKinley this year, and I've been involved with FCA for the last 2 years. I grew up in Columbus my whole life, pretty much. I lived in a 2-parent household, and really, we just kind of struggled a lot financially growing up. I remember just moving from like apartment to apartment, like bad neighborhood to bad neighborhood, just gunshots, drugs, just like kind of surrounded us our lives, pretty much. I would say my first kind of like interaction with Christ was just watching my mom grow up. She was a Christian pretty much her whole life, and I just always see her like through the struggles that she always kind of fell back on God. She would always make these prayers, and I could never understand why growing up, because I mean the situation was living in. I just couldn't understand, like, why would you keep praying to a God who would let us go through the situation? I showed up to a football practice, and a small branch of FCA called Linden Life showed up, and I met this man named Elwat for the first time, and he kind of showed me this new side of Christ that I've never even heard about, a Christ that's forgiving, that's loving, and it honestly made me want to come towards it, because you always hear the stigma of you're a sinner this, you're a sinner that, and it always draws people away because nobody wants to feel bad about the sins they've done, because we've all sinned, and Christ still loves me and forgave me even after everything I've done, and that made me want to learn more and just kind of be intrigued, because what type of man, you know, goes up on the cross and dies for another person he never even met before, and I kind of just, that confused me, and I wanted to learn more, I wanted to grow more, and it kind of drew me, and I eventually learning more and more, and got more involved with Linden Life, and I eventually accepted and received Christ into my life and got baptized not too long after my first interaction with Elwha. My God has impacted my relationships, my morals, my values, everything. I'm not controlled by things like money or like greed or fame or all that. Like, I want to share the word of God, and I want to love as much people as I can and save as much people as I can. I feel like just having those two morals and like values just ingrained into you just like changes the way you look at things. You know, I don't look at women for their bodies or their lust. I don't look for my friends for what I can gain from them. I don't look at money as a sense of power or greed. I'm able to look at like just the world in an entirely different way in the eyes. My future now that I've came into Christ looks honestly entirely different from what I had before. When I was 15, a sophomore, smoking weed and nowhere near Christ, and I had no future for myself. And I think that's what scared me the most, is just not having a future. But I can honestly say with like now coming to terms with God and, you know, receiving Christ, that I can see a path for myself. I can see a life in the future. I can see me, you know, one day maybe walking down the aisle. I can see me having a family. I can see me maybe leading the church. I can see me, you know, leading lunch huddles. I can see all of that, and I can see all the possibilities that could come from that now that I have received Christ in my life. So honestly, I'm not sure where I will go, you know, later in my life, but I know that with God, I could be anywhere, and I'm excited for whatever plan He has for me. What I enjoyed the most from FCA was just like a new way of learning. It's just like almost like a school, but like a school with just your friends. It's just a sense of community. You kind of learn about the Word of God in a different type of way. It's not like when you go to church, it feels like school. Like, what's this? Learn this, learn that, learn this, learn that, recite that. But it's like with FCA, you kind of be able to sit down and like apply those verses you learn into like things you experience in your own life. So it kind of showed you like a whole new side of the Bible. The realization of like Jesus dying on the cross impacted me. It was over like a long period of time trying to accept it, because it's just like, it's just something that you really can't like imagine, like somebody going up there and being tortured, you know, and the only reason why they're up there and continue to stay up there, even though they can easily, you know, get themselves down, because how much they love you. And I think just trying to process that, because I think we've all experienced love on earth, but like we haven't experienced love like that's so unboundless like that. And I think understanding, like trying to still, I think I can't even still like truly grasp it right now, but I'm definitely trying as hard as I can just about how strong that love is. And once you feel like you kind of have a small grasp of it, you never want to let it go, because you realize you'll never find another like a bond or attachment like that on this planet.